I hope that you're all doing very well. I'm still a little sleepy. I overslept this morning, so I'm having a hard time getting started. But I'm glad that I am here with you all so that we can read a story together. So I went looking through my bookshelf and I found a really old book. Really old. It's called Terry Plays Policeman. Look at that picture. It's part of the Sunny Books series. And you can see the years on them. So yeah, they're old. But this is Terry Plays Policeman, and it is illustrated by Richard Osborne, and it is printed by the Samuel Lowe Company out of Kenosha, Wisconsin. So, Terry was a little boy about your age. His father was a policeman. His Uncle Jim was a policeman. Can you guess what Terry wanted to be when he grew up? Of course, Terry wanted to be a policeman too. He looked almost like a policeman when he wore the blue suit with a badge that his grandmother gave him. And he sounded almost like a policeman when he blew his toy whistle. There's his toy whistle. Tweet, tweet. Terry liked to play that he was a policeman, directing traffic on a busy street. And he's got his toy bus and his fire truck. One morning, when he was playing in the backyard with his fire engines and buses, he heard a very queer noise near the back fence. Sounds like somebody crying, thought Terry. Somebody must be in trouble. He waited for the noise to stop, but it didn't stop. I wish Daddy would come, said Terry. Policemen are supposed to help people when they're in trouble. And they are. Terry thought and thought. Then he got down on his hands and knees and he looked through a hole in the fence. And there he is. Oh, look who's on the other side. I wonder who that is. There was Bobby from the house next door, sitting on the grass and crying bitterly. Terry didn't know Bobby very well, so he went back to play with his trucks and cars. But he kept thinking about the little boy, and after a while he went back and peeped through the hole again. Bobby was still there, and still crying. Terry did something he had never done before. He opened the gate in the fence. What's the matter, Bobby? He asked. Do you need some help? See, I think that's a good thing. Rover's gone, said Bobby. I'm sure he's lost. He'll soon come back, said Terry. Bobby shook his head. He's never been gone this long before, he said. He'd be back by now if he could find his way home. I'll help you look for him, said Terry. Let's look in the doghouse first of all, which I think is a very good place to start. They looked in the doghouse. They looked behind the doghouse. They looked beside the doghouse. Rover was really gone. He usually comes if I whistle for him, said Bobby. Whistle for him now, Terry said. Bobby whistled and whistled. Rover did not come. Well, let's see if we can find any tracks, said Terry. There were lots of tracks in Bobby's yard, too many of them. There were bones, too, and an old shoe that Rover had been chewing. Finally, Terry took out his policeman's whistle and blew it as hard as he could. Sometimes he hides under the porch if he's scared or sick, said Bobby. The boys looked at each other. They didn't want to look under the porch. It was dark, and they knew there would be a lot of cobwebs. So they listened hard to see if they could hear Rover breathing. But they couldn't hear a thing. Policemen have to do all kinds of things they don't like to do, said Terry. So Terry looked under the porch while Bobby chased a butterfly in the yard. Way, way back in one of the corners, Terry could see something. Black and white, like Rover, and moving just a little bit. He crawled back and touched it. Newspaper. When he crawled out again, Terry was sure that Rover wasn't there. He and Bobby climbed over the fence into the field next door and started looking for tracks. The first ones they found looked like this. Cat tracks, said Terry. Soon, Bobby found another set of tracks. Terry came running to see them. This time, the tracks looked like this. What can they be? Terry wondered. Then a little brown bunny came hopping by, and Terry knew what they were. Rabbit tracks. Again, Bobby shouted, "More tracks!" They looked like this. You see that? Terry recognized them right away. Squirrel tracks. He had often seen them in the fresh snow. "Here's Rover's rope," shouted Bobby, "and here are more footprints beside it." We found Rover's rope. Terry got down on his hands and knees. Can you guess whose tracks they were? Of course, they were Rover's. The very same tracks they had seen in Bobby's yard. Terry followed the tracks until they ended in the tall grass at the corner of Mr. Cassidy's garage. "I hear something," cried Terry. "I hear something inside Mr. Cassidy's garage." He jumped up and opened the door. Bobby whistled as loudly as he could. There was barking and meowing and a great commotion inside the garage. They saw a mother cat and kittens, a whole family of them, and Rover. Rover jumped up and barked and licked Bobby's hands. The kittens hurried out into the sunshine. Bobby ran to get the rope for Rover's collar. "Come home now, Rover," said Bobby. "We'll go and see the kittens every day." Then they went out of Mr. Cassidy's garage, past the squirrel tracks, past the rabbit tracks, past the cat tracks, over the fence, and home again to Bobby's backyard. Bobby tied Rover up beside the doghouse and gave him a nice big bone. As for Terry, he looked like a policeman, and he felt like a policeman, and he knew that he would be a policeman one day. Oh, and in the back, there's a maze. I love books that have little extras like that. So there we are. Terry plays policeman. It's fun to read old books. They still have the same messages that new books have, where you want to be kind to one another and treat everybody the way that you want to be treated. And that is what Terry did for Bobby. Although it took him a second, didn't it? Because he wasn't really sure if he should help Bobby right away, because he didn't know Bobby very well. I'll bet that Terry and Bobby are going to be really good friends from now on. All because he decided to help somebody else out. So, on this awesome Thursday, please make sure that you take a little time for yourself and go outside and run around, be a crazy person, and enjoy the sunshine. And then try to be kind to somebody else. So remember today to please lead with kindness and enjoy the day. And also, we want you to look forward to or get your tickets to Red Riding Hood, which is coming up at the end of February. So that's going to be a really fun show. We've already started working on it. And it's a musical. It's still going to be virtual because we can't have you come to a theater just yet. It's not safe. But soon. But until then, we'll be doing lots of fun stuff. All right, friends. I miss you. I miss you a lot. But I'll talk to you soon. Bye.